How are you doing, my friend?
I'm just waking up, man.
About what?
Not today, apparently. So, good
No.
morning, everybody.
Yeah, good
I
morning.
didn't
Wait,
remove
Hero,
anybody.
do you know
I
anything
didn't even
about
do anything. I
Chad?
was on my computer.
About what?
Jodel Chad?
No.
He just DM'd me and
No, it
said you
wasn't.
blocked
You
him and
have to
removed
literally
him from
click
the
on something,
space.
and I wasn't on my
I didn't
phone.
remove
I was
anybody.
sitting
I
on
didn't even do anything. I was on my
my
computer.
computer trying to get this video
Huh,
screen recording up.
that's weird. Twitter.
Slip of the finger.
Okay, well.
No, it wasn't. You have to literally click on something, and I wasn't on my phone. Like my phone was sitting on the desk. I was on my computer trying to get this video
Yeah,
screen recording up.
Wow, Twitter is just why the start of a show, right? Oh, I just messaged him. Not sure.
Yeah, I didn't remove anybody. So I don't know.
And there's some weird process to coming back, right? Like if you go out, you get to become a different person, then come back in or something. I'm not sure how that works. I think it happened to Jenny once or something.
Hey, CSW.
Good morning. So
Good morning.
I just wanted to kick off the show. I'm not sure if obviously some of you've got to watch Army of Spies on his YouTube videos every morning or weekdays on about Cardano.
Oh yeah.
This morning he had the one going over the Bloomberg report about NFTs, and I was just wanted to hear some of y'all's input, what you thought about it. Two-thirds of every NFT is like currently listed as below mint price, but the whole thing was done on Ethereum. Just curious to see what you guys thought about that report.
I think markets go up and markets go down.
Brilliant.
I mean, we are currently in a lull, so for
Here's the
sure.
thing: you have no new people right now, and you just are ending for Cardano. At least I'm going to talk strictly Cardano, right? Cardano NFTs. I don't know shit about Ethereum NFTs. You were just in an 8-month bear market, and if you don't realize that, well, probably more like a 6-month bear market because the first 2 months was the ending of a bull market. So yeah, absolutely, NFT sales are going to be down. I mean, if you don't understand that, I don't know how you
I
markets
fully
go up,
understand
markets
that it's
down.
going to be down. Things go up and down, but so a big, publisher like Bloomberg making a report like that is definitely interesting for the space. Um, I don't think it's going to have that much effect. Obviously, people who are buying NFTs aren't really caring what people on Bloomberg are saying, but it's definitely interesting to see what like an outsider's view, like a big establishment's view on this. And I guess they did do a whole study and everything. It's just kind of interesting to me.
And they've been doing studies for years on Bitcoin, telling me how I've been wrong. So I don't know.
Right?
I really take that shit with a grain of salt, especially from any media outlet. I don't care if it's the biggest media outlet in the world.
I think it's great that they're actually reporting on it. So as soon as you start getting any news, it doesn't matter the news, any news is good when it comes to that because it just brings it into the forefront. And if they have a large audience, even better. So,
I mean, personally, I believe in NFTs. Like I have like 200, 250. I've only been in NFTs for a couple months now. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I like it. It's if it's my, personal preference of what I like, I can take the risk that I want. Obviously, you can do that with any assets, but I don't know. This is it, like you said, it's good getting it on like a mainstream, a lot more eyes.
Wait. 250 NFT is the low bar.
Well, I mean, I kind of went crazy when I first got into space. You got that newcomers urge, just minting anything I saw.
250. That's it.
Oh,
Wait, that's no. I'm saying that's a lot.
Yeah,
Hero,
it's a
you're
lot for me
crazy.
too.
You're
For
you're
Hero,
Well,
crazy,
I've
Hero.
been buying ADA for about a year before I found out about it. Well, I mean, I knew about NFTs, but before I was confident enough to actually spend anything, I was buying some
That's
ADA for a while.
that's about 10% of my collection. So you could do the math.
Hero's up there, man.
Okay, so I wanted to give 10 minutes to a catalyst related topic and controversy. I guess that would be an appropriate word
Ooh, spice.
for it. Maybe even scandal. Anyways, there is an unprecedented vote happening on Wednesday to remove a sitting Catalyst Circle member. Um, I don't know if we have time to get into the full spectrum of what's going to happen on Wednesday, but there's one part of that whole saga that I wanted to briefly cover before our first guest, and that's the idea around a single team or a single person or a single company like creating a bunch of proposals in Catalyst, right? We have Dimitri in the house who's kind of been um, under a lot of scrutiny for for his proposals that he has in Catalyst. So I just want to give him the floor. I think by my check, there's over 40 proposals totaling $1.2 million that Dimitri put through, and a lot of people that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. So I thought we could start with that. We could give him a chance to say his piece since he is the catalyst member that is going to go through this unprecedented impeachment procedure on Wednesday. So yeah, Dimitri, go ahead and welcome. Kick up the conversation, maybe that by saying who you are and your role in the community, and then get into these proposals that you have in Fund 8 and your ideas around that.
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, so essentially what happened was there are two sides, there are multiple facets to this story. So the vote is being rushed through in a way where many ADA holders don't even know about it. Felix is wanting this vote to go through and is not willing to take the time to offer the chance for ADA holders all over the world who are not part of the Catalyst community to get to know about it. Many people are completely unaware, even within the Catalyst community, that a vote is taking place. So if this vote is happening on Wednesday, the ADA holder community outside of Catalyst definitely will not know if the Catalyst people themselves are unaware about it. So essentially, the vote is happening because Felix feels that I have abused my position by putting a proposal in for retroactive pay for the circle members. Now, this came about because of a proposal that came down from about 6 months ago, stating that circle members should get $1,000 for 3 months, which even before I got elected, I felt that this was unreasonable, and I was wondering how this ever happened, because everybody else gets paid pretty well, including Felix and other companies' operations within Catalyst. And I have no issues with that. If the voters vote that they should get paid like that, so be it. But this particular proposal was for $1,000 for 3 months, which led me to find out that this was not approved by the community or even put forward by the community, and the community had no idea. But all that happened was this was put for voting, and the vote was either you vote for this or the circle reps get nothing, because it's either this or nothing. So essentially, the community was not consulted. So I put a small survey to the community, and the community basically said, because the community is an honorable bunch, a fair-minded bunch, and they said people should be paid professionally and they should be paid retroactively. But this completely made Felix angry, and he started saying that I'm abusing my position and that I should not have requested retroactive pay. Now, retroactive pay for work already done is not a new concept in Catalyst. Many companies, as well as even organizations that are running the management of it, have asked for retroactive pay for work already done. So this is not a new idea. But this came up against Felix's proposal, which challenged his authority. Now, my aim of doing this was to give the community a voice. If Felix or whoever was to say the community is the one who approved this tiny little amount for the people, well, let the community have a say in it. And the community said we are willing to pay retroactively. And for that matter, it was put by proposal and it will be voted on in Fund 8. So it is called CCV3 reps are professionals too. That is the name of the proposal. If you feel that they deserve retroactive pay, you should go and vote in favor of that particular proposal. So that was one issue that severely led to this impeachment. The second issue, which has nothing to do with being a general ADA holder, and also I put this proposal in as a community member, not necessarily as general ADA holder. Because as a community member, me or you or anyone who holds ADA has a right to put in a proposal to pay anybody any amount as they see fit. And if the people vote, the people will vote and they will get it. So there is no reason for anyone to get worked up about this particular proposal or the survey or anything else, except for the underlying fact that I went to the committee and I asked them a question that challenged the powers that be. So the powers that be don't like when they are challenged, and when they are challenged, this is what they do. They call for snap elections and they take away the power or the authority of the people's elected person. Now, I am less than 1 year in the Cardano community, but I've also done CA and VCA work, and I've got a very good idea of how the CA and VCA systems work. And this time around, I was planning on doing proposals in Fund 7, but I missed the deadline. So I decided to put those proposals as well as the what I had prepared for F8 in this particular fund. So as a result, there was a larger number of proposals. Now, this is not a significantly larger number because other companies have also got large numbers of proposals. WADA has got a large number of proposals. As usual, Swarm has a number of proposals which build on previous proposals, so they keep bringing more proposals. Catalyst School has proposals. Each of the town hall has proposals. So everybody keeps building on more and more proposals. So I put in the proposals that I brought from Fund 7, which I couldn't put, as well as the ones I had written for Fund 8, and altogether they came to approximately 40. Now, of these proposals, 19 of them relate to language proposals.
Can I interject super quickly, Dimitri, about the numbers? So when I'm
yes.
a catalyst on your profile, I'm seeing that 64 ideas were posted, and you just said 40. So what's the discrepancy there?
Because a lot of them were withdrawn and a lot of them were placeholders, and several of them did not go through because they were, so that is how it came to 40. So of the 40, roughly about 19 were language-related proposals that are related to Indian languages, of which there were about 15, including Sinhala, which is my language, as well as Nepali, which is Nepal.
So altogether there are 50. Again, just with some numbers. So 64 originally, 40 is made it to the assess stage, and about 19 of those are for language. Now, in contrast, WADA, over the course of the last 3 funds, that group has put in, or at least people that's affiliated with that group, has put in around 54 proposals through 5, 6, and 7. That number might be lower because some of the I'm going by just a search in my tool that with the search for WADA. So anybody who's putting that proposal that they're working with WADA will come in this search, and they've been funded for WADA related proposal has received 26 proposals being funded over the course of 3 funds, and awarded over 500,000 over the course of the 3 funds. That's just the numbers. You can carry on.
Yeah. So I was actually not even counting to see how many proposals were there because I was thinking we can do these particular languages. Apart from that, I had an idea of putting a solar powered stake pool in Sri Lanka, the first stake pool in Sri Lanka. So I put a proposal in for that. Then apart from that, I wanted to set up some community hubs in Sri Lanka. So I put 3 proposals for that, for the 3 cities of Sri Lanka. I put 2 proposals for coaching coaching services for the people in the community as a service. And so one was for the service, and the other one was to create an app to track the coaching services and record like a coaching log. So that is part of the things that have to be done. So like that, as like I said, all the 14 were not language proposals, but they were various. Apart from that, there were proposals that a social service project that I'm involved in called Five Loaves, Two Fish. You can find that on Facebook. Basically, where food gets picked up from restaurants and delivered to elders' homes, orphanages, low-income areas, and so on. So that we wanted to build particular apps, like for example, a tracking mechanism using NFTs at the pickup and NFTs at the drop-off point, as well as another one for route optimization, another one for allowing freelancers and volunteers to join in and easily track when they exchange shifts or when they take on shifts. So they could use NFTs to. So there'll be a identity NFT, a role NFT, and a date and time NFT. So those NFTs could be transferred between people in a way that allocated shifts to them. So all these, we had the developers in place. We were also going to work with Gimba Labs to do the development of the tokens. So we have people in place to do the work. Even in the translation projects, it's not that Dimitri Fernando is sitting here translating 19 languages. For each of those language projects, I've got expert translators, native speakers. We call them master translators. There is at least one translator and one proofreader. And these are both two. So two translators, two proofreaders, none of them meet. And the work that the translator does is double checked and verified by the proofreader. So technically speaking, it's not 19 we can do. We can do any number of projects, because in each case we set up a separate team for each language. We've been doing translation projects for years like this. And when
I think you just cut out, Dimitri.
Yeah, he cut off. That was different.
You might have
his phone might have died. That was weird.
He talks so fast. If he doesn't have diesel or gasoline running that phone, it's going to die 5 minutes.
So Lido,
I really wanted to make this a conversation and ask some questions, give Hero a chance to ask some questions, and then give the audience a chance to ask some questions. But with him cutting off, I don't know. Know how that's gonna go. And then people, please let's do use the hand, because we only have like 8 minutes before our first guest. So let's try to be efficient with that 8 minutes. I hope he can come back and take some questions. It's good that he talks fast. I hope people can follow, because there's lots to be said here, right? I don't want to say too much without him being able to respond, but I'll go ahead and unmute everybody and go to the hands. Go ahead, Blackjack, and then Quasar.
So what's your assessment of just exactly what's going on? To me, just off of the surface, it sounds to me like he just pissed a couple people off. And because of that, they decided we're just going to railroad and throw this vote out and see what we can do to get rid of him. So that's my assessment of just from what he said. But you're a little bit more involved. I'm curious as to what your assessment is.
Quasar, did you want to add to that?
Actually, Lido, you go ahead and respond, and then I'll follow up if that's okay. I can respond to it.
So my feelings so far with this, with all the conversations that's been going on, is basically what I see is Catalyst has been shocked, right? I wouldn't say it's a couple people. There's definitely a shock that's happened, right? I think anybody who's proposed so far, if they were told that one person had 40 proposals in one fund, they will also be shocked. Now, how Catalyst is responding to that shock and adjusting to it, there's lots of room for improvement there, right? So that's my diplomatic two Lovelaces so far. Quasar, go ahead.
Very political right there. Way to go.
Yeah, that was great. Lido, thank you for being the bureaucracy that we all need at this time. I'm kidding. We don't want bureaucracy. I didn't come here for bureaucracy. I don't like jumping. Exactly. I don't think Catalyst is what any of us thought it would be or wants it to be. I think we all want it to be something different. I know for a fact we have the power to make it different for a limited amount of time until we don't. Well, your assessment there, like Jock, fairly accurate. You know, Dimitri's quite direct, quite bold. The 40 proposals, honestly, I've got 60 proposals lined up in Idisco as drafts that I could drop at any time. So the funding stuff's not that big of an issue for me. There's a lot of tricks that I can show people that are all legal, legit. The protocol allows it, is what they say. Actually, no. I mean, it's a strategy. There's a big strategy that a lot of people don't understand or haven't been exposed to. But Catalyst has been underperforming for a lot of us, including myself. Like, I've got a real specific reputation in Catalyst in different communities. Dimitri is elected to the circle as the general ADA holder representative. In my mind, we're all general ADA holders, unless we don't have ADA. And if you don't have ADA, you're even more important to us. If you don't have the 500 to vote, more important to us. Because that's really, I'm here for. I don't care about you folks that have ADA. I mean, I do. I love you, your family to a degree. But really, we're trying to spread this mission beyond here. Dimitri's in Sri Lanka. Guess what? He moves fast. He knows how to do it. He's got a system. He's there's a shock amount or level or criteria to it. I'm going to say radical, but not in a bad way. We need radical people that take radical action in order to challenge those of us that think that we're being radical. Because I'm here to be radical and change things. So this is a bigger conversation. Let everybody else speak. I'd like to continue it because it really goes back to IOG, Catalyst Circle, and the whole thing with Catalyst. It's layered. It's an onion.
I'm gonna thanks for that, and thanks for recognizing other people need to speak as well, Quasar. We only have about 3 minutes left before our first guest, so do try to keep your responses to under a minute. I will add another number to the numbers game here. In conversation with Dimitri on Telegram, he said 20 community advisors gave him, and I quote, bullshit reviews. So, you know, it's not just 2, right? There's 2 plus whoever those 20 people were. So let's go to Blocks, and then Fuffy, and then Karim.
Hello, I had more of a question. I came in the middle of that his whole spiel, and so I missed half of it. I missed a lot of context. Can somebody give me like a super quick like TLDR on the whole situation for those of us like me who like missed the beginning?
There is a recording, sir, and you can go back and listen anytime. And it will be on YouTube. But just to give you a rundown, to give you a quick rundown, this gentleman is part of the Catalyst Circle team, right? He's done 40 proposals, which is kind of unprecedented in Catalyst. Some people have made a move to remove him from the Catalyst Circle program, which the vote is on Wednesday. So that's kind of the download, quick hitter.
Cool, thanks.
TLDR for sure, and definitely listen to the recording. There's also Epoch's End. There's also some of the same spiel there, which was a few days ago. Go ahead, Fuffy.
Recorded. You can go back and listen.
Yeah. I wish that Dimitri was around to hear this, because because I would like to hear his response. I think, as some of you are indicating, the idea that it boils down to one or two people being, quote unquote, pissed off is definitely disingenuous. Regarding one of the things he mentioned, comparing himself to, for example, WADA, and I forget, Swarm, whatever, other groups that have done multiple proposals. To me, a real differentiator is the idea that with WADA or Swarm, there is transparency and a upfrontness about the bigger picture. Like, right? Like, what is this group doing? What is the vision? What are we going for? And that all of these things that they're presenting fit under some kind of umbrella, right? And that's very upfront. I think what felt very slimy for, let's say, what felt not very good about what we saw with Dimitri was that there was no upfrontness. You could read any one of these proposals and have no idea that there were 64 others out there, right? You had to kind of stumble across it, and then you're stumbling across it saying, wait, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And it felt like there was a lack of transparency, and then it just also felt like there was a lack of a bigger story. Like, what is your vision? What is it about all of these Indian languages that is really going to bring the value? Because that's apparently what you're doing. And I think he wasn't thinking that way. I think he was just thinking, I do translation work. I have access to this network. Look at me go. And there really wasn't that bigger vision. And so I think perhaps his motives, I don't want to assign him bad motives, but I think he's getting reprimanded for, this is not how we do it. We don't just like throw out this work with no transparency. And, and if you're going to do that, like, tell us the story about why this is interesting or important. And I think it just, it was a miss.
Is our first guest here? I don't see it, so continue. If our first guest is here, which is, I posted their name. I can't remember now. It's got me all worked up. What he's doing to me?
May I say one thing about it to end it?
Quasar, Karim will go first since they haven't spoken yet, and then if our first guest is here, do come up. And then
Floaties.
If they're not here, we'll get to it.
Floaties, if you're here, please come up. If not, go ahead with whoever was next.
Request speaker, because we might not be able to find you in the crowd. So request speaker to come up. And you have to be on a mobile device. Karim, go ahead. You have your hand up, and then we'll go to Quasar.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if someone wants to be a community advisor. I guess I have a tweet that is somewhere that I have bookmarked that I need to go to. But yeah, I've heard of Catalyst proposal and people who were preaching about Catalyst proposal. So I'm really interested in that. And I don't know what's going on, and I'm learning some alpha from you guys right now. So please, the speakers, and thank you for holding this awesome space, Cardano Over Coffee. I've never been to a space of Cardano Over Coffee since its beginning, but the watering hole brought me here.
Yeah,
excellent.
I think the best place, right, is to go. Like Lido is an amazing reference for Catalyst and all of that. Maybe reach out to him through a DM, and maybe you two can get together offline and Deans can talk that, or even me. I mean, I'm more than welcome. I know Quasar would be the guy with the Q. More than happy to help you. I'm sure Cat and Bombo, Blockjaw, pretty much every speaker that's up here would be glad to help you. So maybe reach out through a DM or something.
Yeah, also check out the article I just posted to the top. At the bottom of it, there's a bunch of helpful links, and then definitely reach out to my DM for more direction. Go ahead, Quasar.
Man, my mouth is dry. Hero, I appreciate you wanting to move to the next guest. The conversation is a little stressful. I don't want it to be. I'd like for us to be able to have these conversations where they're not.
It's not that I want to move on to the next guest. It's just I have a
respect
that I keep, and that's the way the show runs, and we're all different. So
perfect. Thank you for setting that straight. To Puffy, Dimitri submitting those proposals, for 4 weeks, the community, including the community advisors, had a chance to comment on those proposals and say, hey, what's your intent here? Someone could have reached out to Dimitri. I could have. So there's a lot of things that could be done to improve Catalyst that could have given Dimitri the assistance on the proposals that he had written, or some clarification, as opposed to this just coming up right now, which ironically or coincidentally is the same time that this whole vote thing is happening.
He did actually get a lot of feedback, if I may. Sorry.
Okay.
And a lot of that happened in actually the community advisor chats, because he has been a community advisor in the past. So he did get a lot of feedback. The weird thing, he was pretty resistant to all the feedback, I would have to say. So the story you heard from him today is like, I just did it this way and that's how I did it. I don't think he's really, getting why it upsets people, or really seeing what he should have done differently, would be a hot take, I guess.
Absolutely.
So if I
When I
can
said
jump in
feedback,
here,
Can I comment on that?
yeah.
Can I?
if I can jump in here and say, Dimitri, welcome back. It's unfortunate that you got disconnected and missed some of the comments that were said earlier. But the point that Fuffy just brought up about you getting feedback earlier on about why this might upset people, not just people in positions of leadership, right? Like if you look at your community advisor reviews, I'm sure you, according to our Telegram chat, there's close to or over 20 quote unquote bullshit reviews, right? So obviously this upsets more than 2 people. Are you able to speak towards why it might upset just a regular person in Cardano who might feel like for any reason? And can you speak towards that? And then what Fuffy just said about you getting feedback that people were being upset earlier on before it went to the stage it's at now. Did he rock again?
Samsung, man.
So our first guest is actually here, and
Okay.
this isn't a conversation that it's a 10-minute conversation. This is a conversation that's a lot bigger than that. And somebody, whoever, I don't know who's all involved in this catalyst circle. I'm not involved enough to know who these supposed leaders are, right? Of the catalyst circle. So I don't know any of them. But what needs to be done is more transparency on their side with a vote. It can't just be thrown out there in a week and be like, we need to remove somebody. That's setting a precedence. And to me, setting a precedence or something like that is a lot bigger than throwing a vote out in 1 week. So what? The guy has 40 catalyst proposals. Does that mean all 40 of them are going to get funded? To me, probably not. And by the way, the community is reacting. Probably none of them will get funded. Who knows, right? But the only problem that I would see with this whole situation...
Booyah,
yeah, booyah, right the fuck back at you, asshole. Coming my shit, talking about some
Yes!
shit. Anyhow.
Get some, hero. Way to go, man.
Anyhow, back to what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. There needs to be more time than just a week vote. Like, this is the first I'm hearing of it. And if it's Wednesday, that's too quick for me. And if we're setting a precedence, that's way too quick for me. So that's my thoughts.
So yeah, like you said, obviously more discussion. I mean, even regardless of what happens on Wednesday, I feel like that there's still need to be discussion about this, right? Because it needs to be addressed. Catalyst needs to change in response to this one way or another, or at least those precedents need to be solidified on what's acceptable behavior or not. So I would like to continue the conversation. It's unfortunate that you kept getting disconnected, Dimitri. We do reserve Friday for Catalyst proposals. We don't have any proposal schedule right now. So if you're able to join the conversation again on Friday, we will appreciate that. And I'll reach out to other people in Catalyst in the after town hall and through the DMs and stuff to see if we can get others from the other side of whatever side you're on. But we'll go ahead and move on to the guest and get back to Cardano Over Coffee mid-segment projects and NFT shenanigans. But I'll reach out to you in your DM if you're still in the listener. We would love to have you back on the show, maybe on the Catalyst day, like Friday or Thursday, to have a longer conversation about this.
Thursdays and
to be addressed.
Specifically reserved for Catalyst. So even if you're somebody other than Dimitri and you have a proposal out there, please reach out to Kyd J. Get on the schedule. Let people know that you're have a proposal, right? Otherwise, people won't vote. Catalyst is important. It's important that this is done correctly. I'm with Quasar. Like, this still, everything that we see is wrong with Catalyst can still be changed, but we're getting to that point where it might be too late. So, Lido, before we get to the first guest, I need to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you do any technical analysis?
On what?
On charts.
1 ADA is 1 ADA. That's pretty technical.
Good. Because I just want to tell you that the price of ADA is way up, and Epoch should have bet me because I should have bet him because he'd have lost again. That's all. Anyhow,
okay, what would have been the bet, Hero?
Me taking his money as usual. Where's he at? I need to pick on him some more. Anyhow, our first guest is Rubber Ducky by Floatiez. 10,000 duckies. One pawn PvP wager game. Bet on your own skill and beat your opponent. So it sounds like maybe a game. I've done about zero research on your project, sir, or ma'am. If you can kind of give me a little bit of a rundown, that would be great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So my name's not Rubber Duckies, actually. My name's Zach. If you want to see my face, you can go to the website and check that out. But I appreciate you having me on the space, and I just kind of want to talk about kind of my background and what the project's about. So I originally got into Cardano because a good friend of mine introduced me to some YouTube videos of Charles doing his AMAs, and I really resonated with the whole ethos of what he was talking about with decentralization and, creating an interoperable blockchain that can kind of, bring to the masses with the pond idea that he has for the EVM. But overall, the reason I decided to build the game here is because, the fees are lower than some of the other blockchains, and the charity aspect of the project that I'm donating to kind of resonates with a lot of the other people in the community. But what I'm building is basically a game where you're going to have a 1v1 game with two people in a pond, kind of like a gladiator match, except they're ducks in a pond. And you're going to fight against your opponent, and you basically bet on your own skill in that game to win. You bet like a certain amount of our token, and if you win, you double your tokens.
So I got a bunch of questions right off the bat because you brought up the magic word game.
Right.
What game building a game do you have? What experience? How many people are on your team?
Right.
That kind of information.
So I actually went to university for game development. I went to the University of Southern California and have a degree in computer science, specifically their games program, which happens to be the #1 game development program in the entire world. So that's my experience so far. Instead of going to like a corporate, company and working for them, I decided to, create an indie game and use NFTs as a way to basically crowdfund that. So right now, I'm the only person on the team, but hopefully, as we start selling more NFTs, I'll be able to hire people to help me.
Who does the artwork?
I actually hired just outsourced to someone on Fiverr, which I mean might not sound the best.
Ouch. Like that makes me not. I'll never look at your I'll never look at your project. Like that's a doing right there for me. Why would you go to a Fiverr site where that's just horrible?
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like it's not that uncommon, honestly, but I understand your opinion on that.
So, just if I can add some color to that, maybe can you say why Fiverr is it because? Well, maybe I'll have you say first. Why Fiverr? Like, why not an actual artist that I have a relationship with and has a story? Why Fiverr?
Well, I didn't really have like any friends that are artists or anything to kind of help me with that aspect of it. And the tokens really just serve as like an access token to the game. And I've already started creating the game, so it's not really an art-based project to begin with.
I see, that makes sense. So the main thing you're selling here is this amazing game.
Right. It's not really going to be like an art-based thing at all.
Well, Hero, there you have it. The man just needs some graphics.
Right. We're going to have, I mean, it's going to give you access to 3D assets in the game as well. So it's not just going to be like a 2D thing. Once I have a little bit of funds, I'm going to hire someone to do like the 3D art, and I'll try to get someone from the community to do that, I guess, since that's the sentiment. But yeah, I mean, it's not really an art thing. It never was. It's more about the game.
Well, tell us. We have a question from. Oh, Dimitri's here twice. This is a very interesting show today. Before we get to Karim's question, so tell us more about this game specifically, right? Yeah, tell us more about the game.
Yeah, so basically what you're going to be able to do is I'm working right now with Legion of Brad from CNFT Tools. So basically get a bot hooked up in our Discord to where you link your wallet, and you'll just have access to all of the assets you have in game. So the purpose of the NFTs really is to provide an avenue through the metadata to unlock cosmetics within the game. So users will be able to mix and match their cosmetics on their character based on the metadata of the NFTs they hold. But as far as like the actual gameplay, basically it's like it's a third person, just like third person camera. The main ability for the duck is going to be like spitting water at your opponent, and you're going to have like a certain amount of water, kind of like ammo that you can spit out, and in order to reload you have to like drink from the pond. And then throughout the level, like on the arena, there will be like abilities you can pick up, like a cannonball or like health or things like that. Different abilities you can use to damage your opponent and win. And it'd probably be like it's like on a round system. So basically, the best 2 out of 3. If you win 2 out of 3 rounds, you would win the match.
Sweet, thanks. So it looks like on your site, you've got a few things going. A token, you've got NFTs, you've got a stake pool. How do all these how do they play together? Why does the decision for each of these? Why do you need an NFT and a token? And what's the role of the stake pool?
Right. So basically, the way I've set up the mint is we have 5 different phases. So phase 0 was kind of like our initial drop, and we just tried to see like how many we could sell. And we didn't sell that many. There's only, I think, like 290 or something out there. But basically, depending on what phase you have, like the lower phase number, you're going to have a higher scale of rewards. So I'm going to allow people to, stake with a pool, and they'll be rewarded in addition to, the normal ADA.
Stick with the pool as in like a Cardano pool on mainnet that you will be running?
Yes. So like a
Carry on.
stake pool that I'll be running, like a Floatiez pool, right? And basically they'll be able to stake, and if they have NFTs in their wallet, they'll also earn our token on top of that at a different percentage based on which part of the drop they apply to. And those tokens are what's going to be used in the game to make wagers.
Sounds good. Thanks. Now you keep saying we. Can you speak about your team and your core competency? So far, right now, I've heard you, the software engineer with specialty in game design. I've heard the Fiverr person that's doing some of the graphics for now. Who else is on your team, and what's that core competency?
Yeah, I don't have anyone else. I'm saying we just because I mean it's not, there's no one else on the team. It was just kind of like we as a community. That's not really. It's just me on the team.
That sounds good. And then going to community, can you speak about that so far? How have the community how have you been able to build community right now? What's the status of that, and what kind of people are coming in, things like that? Where is the community happening for for Floatiez?
The hardest thing for me, honestly, is because I need to get someone to help with marketing, and like community management, because I mean we do have like people on Twitter and stuff, and we do have some people that hold from phase 0, but it's just been pretty difficult to build the community because that's not my expertise. So if I was looking to hire somebody, which I am, like very soon, is to get someone to help with community management.
Great. One last question, and then I'll go to the audience. I'll come to you first, Karim. The last question is, or maybe it's more a comment, maybe a question too. So since we came from Catalyst, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what Catalyst is. If you're not, there's an article on the top. You can read about that. One of the things that when Catalyst proposal are being reviewed or judged or whatever, however you want to add that term, as assessed, advised, is the feasibility, right? Gaming in general is a super high risk investment, right? So I mean, yeah, right now, what you are asking people to buy NFTs for some future deliverable. And so going back to Cali, it's one of the questions that's asked on there is the feasibility of the project. And one
Right.
of the big thing that we looked at for feasibility is the team. Does the team have what it takes to execute on this thing? And so right now, if this was a Catalyst proposal, I would give it a 1 or a 2 star, because I'm seeing like this thing needs a whole team to execute, and you don't have that right now. It's almost better to do the work building the team before like launching any of this stuff. So that's my perspective. Can you give a counter perspective to that of why people should join you on this journey right now, even though the risk is super high and the confidence is, from my perspective, is super low?
Yeah. I honestly don't see a reason why I would need to have like a full team for this. I mean, it's just like an indie game, right? So I basically will have hopefully an alpha within the next 1 to 2 months where people can go in and play. There won't be a token yet, obviously, because I need to like write up a white paper and things like that and figure out how that's going to look. But then obviously in the beta we would start testing tokens in like a smart contract, and I plan on outsourcing to. I've been emailing back and forth with M Labs to get a smart contract for the wagering written, and kind of an audit to make sure that everything's working as it's supposed to. So I mean, for the things that I don't think I could do myself, I am hiring people, I guess, but just like not yet, because I'm not there yet.
That makes sense, and definitely having an alpha would definitely raise my confidence for sure. Let's go to audience question. Go ahead, Karim, and then Blocks.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in the idea of community building. I've been in the Twitter spaces using a piggy in a blanket of a sort. And Yeah, I just wanted to ask Rubber Duckies. When it comes to community management, what are you looking for when you are looking for a community manager? What would be the job description, or what would that person be required to do exactly?
Well, first of all, like for the type of person, I guess would have to be someone familiar with Cardano and Cardano NFTs specifically, and how the community kind of operates. You know, preferably someone that's been in the space for a few months, probably like 6 to 8 months ago, starting like last fall. But as far as like what they would be doing, it's just like basically managing the Twitter account and the Discord. Running events and tweeting things out and making sure that people are like hearing about us and getting the word out about the project.
Do you think you need only one person to do that, or do you think that one person would need a team under him or her, or they?
I would say, it'd probably be like one person for the Twitter account and one person for Discord.
They will be compensated based on their time spent on that. So what's the time that they'd invest in that?
Well, obviously, like depending on the amount of time they have available, that would be, justify like how much they would get paid. But it'd most likely just be like a percentage of whatever, however successful the project is. So like a percentage of the mint price. But if someone's only able to, spend like 2 hours a day, they're obviously not going to get as much as someone who's able to treat it like a full-time job.
Yeah, definitely, but it depends on what that person brings on the table. And if you're saying that it's quite easy for you to build a game, that's a very specialized skill. And when you're looking at a community builder, you're looking for a very specialized skill. If you're looking at 10,000 rubber duckies, I know it has to do with the tokenomics of the game somehow, but yeah, I think a solid team is something important, and you having a specialized skill in making games because you studied it, I think you would want alphas in your team that have the same amount of skill and are
I'm gonna
able to
jump in
invest.
here, Karim. Sorry, just we are getting towards the end of this guest slot, and we do have 3 more hands. So something to think about there. I forget your name, so I'm gonna go back to Rubber Duckies. Go ahead, Blocks. Ask the question, and then we'll go to the session.
Oh, my question was very similar to whoever was just talking, so I'm not gonna rehash it again. But I'm just gonna say, Robert Ducky, that I think definitely you need to build a team around yourself. There's other projects doing something very similar to what you're doing, and they're like 8 to 10 people operations, and maybe you know very well how to do the game programming side of things, but there's marketing, there's community management, there's going to be other tokenomics, there's going to be other stuff that's just not going to be in your wheelhouse, and that's okay. But that's why having a team can help you in the long run. And you guys kind of already like talked about it, so I'm not going to go into it again, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate the constructive criticism a lot.
Thanks, Blocks. And it's Zach. Zach, I remember. Okay, so go ahead, Sessions, and then Chains.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I just wanted to give some encouragement. I checked you out. You come from a really good college. Why? I guess a side question that you don't even have to answer right now, but why not recruit from your school, right? The artists or whatever, the team that you need. I think that's a pretty cool place to recruit. I think your game is really cool. The idea is cool. And I think you have the capabilities to pull it off. And also, you have like 2,000 followers, dude. That's good marketing. I mean, how'd you get that? So I do agree that you do need to find somebody from within the community to help you and that, build the community. But you're not so far off. So keep going, and yeah, let's see some alpha.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Chains.
Hey, I was just going to add I don't have the game skill set, but I definitely spend a lot of time in different Cardano and Twitter spaces. So there might be a trade-off we could do. If you could help me with a game, I might be able to help you, and we could probably help each other in that sense if you have gaming skills.
Yeah, if you want to, send me a DM, and I'll definitely take a look at whatever you bring to the table. Is it like a marketing thing or like a community thing that you'd be doing?
I can actually do both. And I would rather do it with someone else's project. So we can talk outside of the space here about it and see what we can come up with, if it makes sense or not.
Awesome.
That sounds like a great offline chat. Well, look at that, folks. Connecting teams here at Cardano Over Coffee. People think this only happens in Catalyst, but it happens on Cardano Over Coffee too. So tell all your friends. One last question, and then we'll go to closing statement. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, hi everyone. I just wanted to really, mirror a lot of the sentiment session Cruz just shared. Like, dude, you come from a good university, you've got your degree, you've got that experience in what you do. The best thing is to like really go back home or go back like to your school and really build a team from there. That's something I really think is a great idea. Another thing is also maybe you don't have to pursue right away. Maybe you want to join another team that's already building this kind of stuff and kind of like learn from there and maybe absorb from there. That's another option. You could join an accelerator program as well if that works. For example, Milkamida has an accelerator program going on at the moment to help people get to where they need to get to in terms of their startups and projects and platforms. And it's something you can look at. I would say apply for it, but then you pretty much want to have something a bit put together, for a lot of considerations to be made, because it's a lot of other people with teams who are applying for these things out there. So yeah, just wanted to share that.
Thank you for the recommendation.
Thanks, Emmanuel, for that recommendation and micro tasty shell. Any last words, Rubber? Zach. Any last words for the audience? Any call to action for the audience here?
Just thank you everybody for being here and for in the space and allowing me a place to speak. Shout out Pool. I know you don't really necessarily agree with my approach to the project, but I hope that we can still communicate and be friendly to each other. So just thank you everybody, and look forward to listening to the rest of the space.
Thanks for taking time out of your day. Bullish, did you have something before we move on?
Oh,
dumpling hero.
I'm gonna get yelled at, so that's why I said it.
Yield farming, not yield farming. Well done, hero. I wanted to remind you that I think I see Dimitri in the space. I don't know if he wants to come up and say something. This might be the last space we have today before I think the decision is made for Cat Circle.
I have one more scheduled guest, and then I'm fine with running over if Lido is, and we can come back to that. But
okay.
I don't want to. I'm excited about my next guest.
Dumpling, where you been? We've been talking about this for a while. You need to be here early in the morning when we start. Let's go.
It's afternoon here, guys. Blackjack, nice to hear from you.
She's tea time. Miss Dumpling is tea time right now. I'm glad that you're feeling better, by the way. And Jamie and Moon, if you could request speaker as you're our next guest, that would be amazing.
Moving. I just had to say that. I don't know if you have a jingle or not. I feel like you should have a jingle if you don't. But yeah.
She needs entrance music, is what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Jamie, you need to make your sister some entrance music. Why haven't we done this yet? What are we waiting for? There's no further questions until Jamie gets up here and tells me why Moonbeam does not have
I
entrance.
think her Android is rugging because they keep saying they can't. I keep accepting her and they keep saying no. Twitter says no. Oh man.
Hold on. We
Oh,
were
there you
at
go.
speakers, buddy. Only 2 co-hosts, so Jamie, answer me. Why does Moonbeam not have theme music?
Hi, Hero. Good morning. Thanks for having us on. And to answer your question, I do not know, but she is very capable of making her own music, as she is also a musician and singer.
Well, you're her mentor in the whole crypto world, right? So you should be telling her these ideas. I'm kidding. I hope you two are doing wonderful. You have your coffee?
Yes, I do. Sorry,
Good.
I just want to make sure for sure that I sound fine because my internet has been kind of acting up. Do I sound okay?
Yep, sound great.
Perfect. Thank you.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the project that you guys have going on? Well, more you than Jamie. She's just kind of like trying to take all the limelight.
Oh, thank you. Do you mind if we pin up a tweet at the
No,
top just so that
do it.
perfect. All right, so I'll talk about our project, and in the meantime, Jamie, if you don't mind pinning up some tweets at the top. So hello, everybody, and hi, Lido, and hi, Hero. Thank you for having us. We created a project called Motley Moon. It is founded by myself, Moonbeamer, or you can call me Jody, and my sister, Jamie. Jamie is a stake pool operator and an NFT collector in this space, and I am a NFT artist, and I here and there try to collect some NFTs as well. We came up with the idea of Motley Moon because we love art, NFTs, and the Cardano community, and wanted to see what we could offer to the space. We started the idea for this collaboration about 7, 8 months ago now, and since then have been experimenting and brainstorming with what we could bring that's unique. So we decided on aspects of this project based on my style of art and then Jamie's expertise and her passion about the Cardano ecosystem. The main focus of our project is the art, as it is very different, and we wanted it to be a art-based project. We wanted to create something unique and something that really stands out while using it as a means to build a community and support decentralization, which are a couple of the best things about Cardano. So about the art, we wanted to think outside of the box regarding generative art, and we did that a couple ways. First, we wanted to create a sense of variety with the art. So we have 14 characters. Actually, we have 20 characters now, but I'll speak about the 14 characters first. The 14 characters are 7 male and 7 female. We also have 3 different orientations for each character. So it's not just one base layer or just one orientation, which is very common in a lot of projects right now. The 3 different orientations are front facing, 3/4 view, and side view. We also wanted to add a lot of detail. So if you were to zoom into the characters, you'd actually see up to 50 layers of scribbled lines in different colors to create the skin textures, tones, highlights, and shadows. And for each character, we have over 100 plus funky attributes, which includes like the accessories, hair colors, and backgrounds. The extra 6 characters are what we call outliers, which we have not revealed at all of what they look like. These are the one of one ultra rares. They don't share any attributes or anything with the other 14 characters. When it comes to the logistics of our project, and Jamie can touch on this more too if she'd like, our focus is the community and supporting the vision of Cardano. For example, we have ideas of what we would like to offer for a roadmap, but nothing is decided or set in stone because we want our roadmap to be community driven. So basically, it's going to be based on the collectors of our NFTs. We want them to decide what they want and where they want this project to go. Also, we're taking a different approach to our whitelist, where we don't want to take a strategy that is focused on creating hype around the project and where people have to grind disc for it to claim it, but instead they will need to stake with the community stake pool in order to claim a whitelist spot through drip drops. Our goal with doing this is to incentivize and encourage CNFT collectors to stake their ADA if they haven't yet. And just kind of speaking on this point, it's actually been really cool to see a lot of people who want to or who are interested in the project but have not staked ADA before, and just seeing them interact with the blockchain in that way and learn about it has been really cool. But yeah, Jamie, would you like to add anything?
I think you touched the points perfectly, and to add to, introducing people to interacting with the Cardano blockchain, I've had a good number of NFT projects on Cardano even reach out to me, saying like, hey, we've been an NFT project on Cardano, but we have never staked. How hard is it? How safe how safe is it? So it's been nice to like introduce staking Cardano or staking your ADA to actual other CNFT projects on Cardano, and just watching the ecosystem be more involved in securing the network. But if you guys have any questions or feedback, Moonbeamer or Jody and we're all ears.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your art background? Your sister said that you, do all kinds of musical, and tell me a little bit about that background.
Yeah, so I am I've always just had a more artsy, creative side to me, and I've explored that musically. I used to do kind of graphic design, but I'm not formally trained. I will say that I'm not formally trained in some of these areas, but I did go to university for urban design, and so part of that is there is aspects of like a number of art classes, but I will say like I don't have like a fine arts degree or anything like that, but I've always kind of resorted to art and done art for myself and just as something that I enjoy. And so it's just I'm now kind of bringing that into like my passion and my interest in like crypto and NFTs. And so, yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Absolutely, and not every artist has to be formally trained. In my eyes, I think some of the biggest artists in the world, were found when they were amateurs. So, tell me a little bit about your venture into blockchain and NFTs, and specifically Cardano. I know Jamie's been running a stake pool forever, so I'm sure she played a lot into that. But I'd like to hear that story some.
Yeah, so actually, I don't know where to start. So Jamie, yeah, so she was always telling me about crypto and her interest in crypto, and then eventually it was a lot of things about Cardano. At that time, I was in school and I wasn't able to research into it myself. And finally, when I graduated, I spent a month with her where she lives, and she kind of it was actually, I would say, I got into Cardano specifically because I started getting into crypto and seeing the potential of what this could be in the future and what this means if in the future. My first exposure to crypto was getting scammed out of my life savings. But instead of seeing that as a thing to hate about crypto, I was like, you know what? Like, this is my lesson learned. I want to learn more about this and see how I can kind of take advantage of this opportunity for myself and obviously an honest way. And so it was kind of a way of me looking towards also my future and like finances. And then Jamie started sharing with me about Cardano and just the overall vision and like the sustainability of the blockchain. And I personally am such a community person and I'm very passionate about community. So the community aspect of Cardano is huge for me. Um, and also NFTs as well, because I am an artist and I love art. So yeah, it's kind of all a mix of that. And I'll be honest, like I'm not an expert when it comes to the tech side of the ecosystem, but I'm very open to learning and I want to learn and I'm still in that process.
That's awesome. So if anybody has any questions, please request speaker and come up and ask. Lido, TCT, you got anything?
I mean, you didn't ask the usual question. Maybe I missed it. I've busy this morning. Who is the team? Is it just you two?
Yes, it's just the two of us right now. We do plan eventually as this project grows that we know that we will have to expand. So yeah, but right now it's just the two of us, and then we have kind of like our mods like Blue Collar and Rouge Rocket helping us with the Discord and just the interacting and engaging with the community right now.
Blue Collar, he's always sneaking somewhere. I know him. I follow him around because he's on top of shit.
Yeah, I would actually say that he's the person who came up with the idea of like our dropping our whitelist token on drip drops. So all the credit goes to him for that. He's been coming up with super great ideas and it's just so awesome to have him around for this.
Yeah, good guy to have on the team, even if it's just, doing stuff like that. So Lido was going to ask you, what's your 50-year plan for these NFTs to stay on the blockchain?
Jamie, would you like to speak to that?
Did I hear correctly? 50-year plan?
Yeah, so in 30 years or 40 years, if I open my CC Vault or Eternal, whatever they're calling themselves now, like, what's your plan to make sure my NFTs still exist and didn't vanish?
Sorry, I think you got rugged there on my end, but I think I got what you were saying. So what's our plan for 50 years? So we are minting with BuffyBot, and we're going with a service that, is relied on in this space and has a lot of experience. We do plan to, like Jody said, we are planning to do a very community dynamic roadmap, and we want our community to be very, very involved. And, I think you're referring to keeping the images pinned, I believe. And we are going to do everything we can to do that. The policy will be locked. We want to continue to grow in this space. And this is one of the reasons why it's taken Jody and I quite some time. The project has been in the works for about 7, maybe going on 8 months now, just because we believe in blockchain being, a forever thing. And once the NFTs are up, they're up. The policy will be locked. And we want that, that collection to represent exactly what we want for the collection. So we don't want to have anything up there forever that is, not perfected to a T, and make sure it lasts forever up there. So I hope that answers your question.
I think too, I mean, if I might add that we don't have a formal plan for 50 years because a lot of this too is new. And then at the same time, given our plans of creating a community driven roadmap, we can't set in stone like what's going to happen 50 years from now. All we can say is Jamie's passionate about this ecosystem, and we want to continue building a community in this in Cardano. So it just, yeah. So nothing's set in stone, but we are here for the long term. We're not just people who want to create an NFT project and just, nothing wrong with it, but like we're not just here to just create an NFT project and drop and then, you know, kind of like make money from it. Like we were here before this project and we plan to be here for as long term as the community will allow us to be here.
We'll just vote you out, apparently. Did I say that? Because I oops. Anybody else have any questions? Feel free to come up and chit chat. Anything you two want to finish up with? Blocks? Did you have something?
Yeah, I got a quick question. How are you guys planning to handle your royalties?
So that is something that we haven't finalized yet as far as the exact number and how we're going to break it up and how we're going to distribute it. We do want to have right now it is in the talks that we want to have a percentage of the royalties to go back to our holders, just to kind of, we want to incentivize long-term holding basically. And then yeah, but as far as that, we haven't finalized that because we're still in the final stages of the project, and yeah, deciding all those things. Jamie?
I was gonna say, Jamie, do you really have your hand up?
I do. I just wanted to add to that. But at the same time, Jody answered the question, I raised my hand, so she kind of answered half of it. But the other half to that being, we've seen a lot of very creative ways royalties are dispersed to the, like she said, the collections holders. And we also want to incentivize long-term holding, as well as we were considering, we've heard from, I believe it was Ada Army, how they are, like when you mint an NFT, it's tied to a certain address. So like the minter of that NFT would get like royalties every time something is resold afterwards, if that makes sense. So like I said, that incentivizes more of a flipping mentality, which we don't want, but we understand there are both flippers and hodlers in the space. So we want to, it would make, to put this nicely, it would put a fire under our ass to really bring out the best of this project, to incentivize more the hodlers than the flippers.
Blocks, did you have another question, or is your hand just still up from before?
Oh no, that was it. Thank you for answering.
Okay. Moonbeam, anything you want to, where can people go to find out more? Just kind of give us a quick overall.
For sure. So you can check our Twitter, which is at Motley Moon NFT. And we also have motleymoon.io for our website. Their whitelist is still open, so you can still claim whitelist. And I want to add right now, we don't have a finalized mint date yet, but our whitelist will get an early mint and a discounted mint price. So we do still have some whitelist spots open, which would require, to go into this technical, you could claim our token on drip drops to claim whitelist in our Discord server. Any further questions than that, feel free to contact us or message us on Discord, and we'd love to help you guys out with that. But yeah, so Twitter, website, and Discord is the best way to get more information about us.
Awesome. And shout out to Jamie for all that she's done as a stake pool operator and in the NFT world. You know, when I need to find out who's minting, I know whose website I go to.
Thank you, Hero. You're too kind. I just wanted to add too that if the amount of effort and work put into this by Moonbeamer has been just amazing. And, you know, as an older sister, it's not easy for a younger sister to work with you in a project. And I applaud her for putting up with me being extremely pushy and, you know, just pushing the best out of her. So we're very excited for the drop, and, you know, we're excited to see how many people really appreciate the artwork.
The artwork's very unique. So if you're down there and you haven't checked it out, make sure that you up top there's a couple pin posts. Go check them out. People that are good for the Cardano ecosystem, I recommend them too. So if you're looking to invest in a decent project, I'm going to. I know that. You can build your own opinion.
I also see you shared Rare Bloom info. Is anybody going to the Rare Bloom event in October?
I'm waiting for the discount tickets to, maybe the raffle or something. I'm just gonna wait for that.
Good luck with it. Speaking of which, I think their tier one's almost like sold out. So if you're looking like to get in early before the prices go up, you might want to go check that out.
Wait, the prices are gonna go up?
What do you mean? That's cheap for a fucking event. Like, you people don't realize. Like, you weren't here in 2017. No, crypto events are different, dude. Go look at what a Bitcoin conference costs. It costs the same. That's what it costs.
Yeah, general admission to consensus is like $1,000. I think that's what the ticket was this year.
2018, 2017, it was general admission was quite a little bit higher than that, I think. So prices have come down some.
Use some of those yield farming rewards, Blackjack.
Hell no, man. My lobster claw is very strong. I will work it out, though. I intend on being there.
You better be there, because I'm going to mute you in person somehow.
So, just super quickly here, I do have to go into my fiat meeting. I see Dimitri is no longer in the house, and I don't think I can facilitate that conversation again if it comes up. I would still recommend that we revisit it on Friday or Thursday, but I'm going to be silent for a bit.
Well, isn't Friday or Thursday a little? I mean, you can go do your farming, right? But isn't Friday a little late? I mean, the vote's Wednesday to kick them out of the community. Like, holy fuck. Anyhow, Moonbeam, do you have your hand up? What's up?
Yeah, I just I have to start my day job in like 4 minutes here, so I'm just going to say thank you guys so much for having us on. But I have to head out. But yes, thank you again, Lido and Hero, for having us on.
Thank you. Thanks for taking time. Have fun at your other job. Remember, they don't pay you in ADA, so don't stress yourself too much. I think I might have Dimitri coming up here. Hey, Stoic Pool, I see you down there. Won't you be hiding? Come up here.
Get up here, Reese. What are you doing, man?
I was talking to him this morning, man. He's one of my favorites.
So anyhow, as we're transitioning here, I want to give a shout out to today's Cardano Over Coffee sponsors, the Ada Cafe. The Ada Cafe supports a lot of new and upcoming artists into the ecosystem, and they also support a lot of your favorite Twitter spaces, such as this one. So shout out to the Ada Cafe for all that they're doing in building the community, because everybody knows that's kind of what I like to do, is build community. So shout out to them. If you want to support the Ada Cafe, I have pinned the Discord where a lot of your Twitter space hosts hang out. You can come ask us questions, so you can join there. We also have 2 tokens out. One is an on-chain Epoch clock, which also acts as the founder's token for the Ada Cafe, and then also an off-chain version for those who don't want to pay the founder price. Either one supports your favorite Twitter spaces. It also supports TCT. He doesn't know it yet, but it does. Also, another way that we like to get the word out to the communities is if you have your ADA on an exchange, help decentralization by getting it off an exchange and staking to a stake pool. Your host, Lido, has a stake pool. I have a stake pool. TCT does not have a stake pool. Stoic Pool has a stake pool. Lido, Linda down there has a stake pool. Jamie has a stake pool. Rare Bloom has a stake pool. Bombo has a stake pool. So many great stake pools out there. Check them out. You can split your wallet and delegate to multiple stake pools if you like. Also, Rare Bloom event tickets are on sale. I'm going to give them a shout out. So Rare Bloom event. I'm gonna be there. I'm hoping. I know Epoch's gonna be there. I'm hoping to see Linda there because apparently I owe her a beer. I don't remember losing that bet though. So come hang out. Rare Bloom event. Stoic, what is going on, dude? What's going on?
Hey man, thanks for dragging me up here. I appreciate the invite. I'm actually just off to go and do some coaching now. Going to teach some guys some handstands, so I can't really stick around, but I'm glad you're all doing very well. I like that we're having, sorry, this is my door, an open conversation with trying to get Dimitri involved, because if we can have him up, obviously, it is only right, I think, that we talk with him around, in my opinion. Maybe we should organize another space if he can do so tomorrow.
I think that needs to be like the people who are involved in this. Unfortunately, I'm not as involved in Catalyst as I probably should be, which I need to remedy that, which I can. However, I think the people that are the Catalyst circle, the leaders of Catalyst, right? There should be an open talk about this before the vote. Why has this all been in the shadows? Like, why is most of the community just finding out about this? I realize that it just happened, but there needs to be open conversation before a vote like this takes place, in my opinion. I'm hoping that somebody steps up to the plate who knows all the players in this do that. And thanks for stopping up and saying hi, by the way. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'll try and figure that out. Sorry, I'm outside now, so I'm going to cut off. But everyone have a lovely day, and I'll see you all very soon, I'm sure.
Don't coach too hard, bro.
Hey, we're going to need some instruction on the Wednesday meeting for your handstands as well. Just an FYI.
Just, I think it's a topic that needs to be talked about in the open with everybody involved. And I think Lido would be great to facilitate that because he's very calm and cool. I don't know about cool. I might have to retract that.
Hero, he's getting cooler, man. He's starting to use a completely different vernacular now and throwing slang out. And you guys have really affected him in a great way. I feel like I'm a part of that, but I think you guys have been the bulk.
Sorry, I had to do it at least once a day. So there's your once. Continue.
Thank you.
I might have to get you again because Epoch's not here and I can't. He's not around.
That's hilarious. I think honestly, Lido would be perfect for that, though. Yeah, he's very cool now.
No, I think to facilitate, or even Bullish Dumpling too. Somebody who's I get emotionally tied into things, so I'm not good when it comes to shit like that sometimes.
Kind of a tag team effect between Lido and Dumpling. That would be good. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I just think that should be something that's talked in the open. So, Rare Bloom, what is up?
What's going on, guys? I'm actually just getting to pour my first cup of coffee right now.
You're late, dude. I'm like 3 cups in.
Damn late.
Hey, Rand, TCT said I could get discount tickets because I'm special.
Rarebloom.io, rock it out, dude.
TCT is the one I guess is going to supply that discount then.
I was hoping for a roadie position that way I get the backdoor action, like I did it for a lot of bands that I was in part of.
I'm sure they do need bartenders.
I'm the worst person. Well, I wouldn't drink the product though, I guess, but I'm horrible at mixed drinks, so you guys would hate that.
That's all good, dude. Definitely hit us up, send an email. There's a list kind of starting for that. I don't know how much we'll need it though with all the different vendors we're working with. Just covering it.
I know, man. I got you. I'm going to be there, man. I'm just playing with you. You know how I am.
But people should definitely book their hotel rooms because they're flying fast. We're already 20% of the way booked on the on staying at the actual event location at the hotel room with our block. That is almost half off from retail price. We don't make any money off the hotel rooms. We just booked a block to get everybody a big discount, and those are flying.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, everyone. I thought I would just jump in and say hi.
Why do I owe you a beer? Can you refresh my memory on that?
I think you actually owe me 2 beers by now. I can't remember why, but I'm pretty sure you owe me 2.
The interest on this beer is exponential. Rand, I'm gonna need discounts on 2 beers.
Yeah, I got that. You do, with purchasing a ticket to the Rare Bloom, VIP or regular, there are drink and food tickets that come with that.
Sweet. What's up, Abe? Haven't talked to you in forever.
I'm doing good. Woke up pretty early this morning to the sound of my cat trying to eat some tape. So that was lovely, and I decided to hop on here. And now I'm playing Civ while I listen to these awesome talks.
I just posted a little hidden alfalfa to the top up there of some blurred out tokenomics we've been working on. If anybody wants to check it out.
Is that Rand or Pay?
That's Rand.
Okay, what up, man? How are you?
Surviving, brother, surviving.
I feel you, man. I'm coughing a little bit, so mind me.
What up, Button?
What is this Rare Bloom? I've never heard of it. Now I'm intrigued because I heard there's going to be
Rare Bloom. What is Rare Bloom? What are you, Rare Bloom?
The Rare Bloom is a live Cardano event hosted at the Gaylord Hotel and Convention Center in Denver, Colorado, October 14th and 15th of this year, 2022.
So I'm going to have to fly from Vegas to Colorado, is what you're telling me?
I actually would suggest driving in the caravan of people from CNFTCon to Colorado, because I have a feeling a lot of amazing friendships are going to be made at both events and the in-between. I myself am going to have to fly to get set up for the Rare Bloom, but if I didn't work for the Rare Bloom, I would be in the caravan with everybody, 100%.
I'm going to have to find a seat in this caravan. Can you tell me a little bit more about the event?
I came up to say that Dimitri's trying to get up here.
Yeah, Session. Dimitri's been trying to get up here for the whole entire time. So, like, when he's able to actually get up here after I accept him, we'll talk about it. But I'm not going to talk about it until he's stable up here, because if I'm not able to ask him questions, it's worthless.
Got it. I really wanted to hear what was going on, what the drama was all about.
I do. I don't want to necessarily say it's drama. I just want to find out what's actually going on, so I know how to vote. Apparently on Wednesday, right? That's important to me. Am I allowed to vote? Even like, is that something that everybody gets to vote on? How's that working? Lita, where are you at? I hate when you leave me. Make me sad.
I honestly don't know what drew me to this room in the first place was Joker talking something about it, and that's what made me click to see what the tea was about, you know?
Well, everyone loves. I for one want to hear more about the Rare Bloom, because I am going. I might even be doing some speaking. I don't know yet.
There's a rumor that there's going to be a bullish dumpling there.
I've heard that rumor.
A lot of people in the room. ADAO, Ada Cafe, Hero here in Cardano Over Coffee. We're trying to get Hero to do some fun stuff. We've been poking at the Hero Bear for a while. But yeah, rarebloom.io, you can see everybody we've already got lined up. Input output will be there. Sunday Swap, Ben Gortzel, and Singularity Net, Singularity DAO, Charlie 3, Claymates, Liquid Finance, Ada Handle, Cornucopias, NFT Maker, Indigo Protocol, Genius Yield, Wi-Fi, Bloom Pool, Rare Pool, Token, Mycelial Gallery, Drip Drops, Pay, tons of influencers, tons of other sponsors that are signed up that I can't announce right now, but coming in the next week or so. I really truly believe if you're a builder in this community, somebody trying to make a difference and navigate, maybe even get a job with a specialty that you have, or even looking for a place to start, that's what our event's for. And I think I've said it time and time again with our team, like I can't wait for year 2 to see who becomes a speaker from year 1. And I truly believe there will be several protocols invented from the time between CNFTCon and the end of Rare Bloom. And I think there'll be several millionaires minted with ideas that come from it, teams and protocols and all types of fun stuff.
I, for one, can't wait for the event and the network effect that's going to happen from this particular event is going to be absolutely amazing. So if you are a project or a protocol and you want to meet people within Cardano, this is going to be the place to be, bar none. So it doesn't matter really the price. I mess with...
You're going to miss me muting Blockjock somehow. I haven't figured it out yet.
Live on the main stage.
Live on main stage, get muted. I can't wait for that, Rand. You'll see me laugh and turn red all at the same time. No one gets to see that part.
So I have a question. If somebody was to give out party favors, would you rather have 1,000 yo-yos or 1,000 frisbees?
Myself, or is this for others to answer?
Already know.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting that answer when you said party favors. I was expecting something completely different.
TCT's on Etsy right now trying to determine what he's going to buy in order to throw out into the crowd.
I want yo-yos, TCT. I'm done with the yo-yo.
I only want yo-yos.
Dude, if you throw yo-yos, it's going to hit somebody in the head. If you throw frisbees, it's going to be way better.
I'm going to hit somebody with a frisbee too. Trust me, Block.
I think TCT means just like to put in the giveaway bag that we hand out with everybody at registry, not necessarily to chuck off stage. If that makes a difference in your opinion, just to hear everybody's opinion.
I would still rather play with a yo-yo than a frisbee. Like, I got to run after a frisbee. Shit.
Okay, then there better be a shirt cannon then. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
So shirt cannon.
Or like, slingshot, shirt slingshot, that'd be good too.
I don't know what Lido's doing, but the space is kind of glitchy. I heard cannon.
I thought it was just me.
He's driving around the Midwest trying to find Wi-Fi right now.
Ordering
during a hurricane. So, Block, you have your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Events planned for the conference? Like I know like East Denver had Death Mass. You guys have like anything in store like that or
We do. We are working on an after party for the Friday night. I don't want to speak too much to it at this time. We're still working on locking down entertainment, but yeah, we're working on turning the main stage area, getting rid of all the theater seats, and putting in a dance floor and some table space, and having an after party on the Friday night, and then turning the room back over into theater seats for the next day of events.
Awesome. Be looking forward to hear about that. And if you need a concert production company, one of my really good friends owns one in Denver. So just let me know.
Yeah, we're actually. I would be happy to speak with anybody. That's actually my background personally. But yeah, I'm not from Denver, so we are looking for production companies. The issue we kind of run into is they need to be approved by the venue and the Gaylord. So we have like limited vendors we can actually work with. So if they are one of those approved vendors, definitely have them reach out, and we'll take a quote.
Sounds good. Will do, man. Thanks for answering the question.
Yeah, no worries. Anytime.
So I want to just mention something that's going on today in Cardano land, and that's Wi-Fi's first governance vote is today on their platform if you own any Wi-Fi. So I know there's some hate in the world of Wi-Fi because it's still custodial, but they are working their way towards not being custodial. And the first vote is today, and those votes are important for the future of Wi-Fi. So if you own Wi-Fi or you're a fan of Wi-Fi, make sure you vote. Just like I'm a fan of voting on Cardano, you should vote if you own that token too, right? Because that's why part of the reason of owning said token.
Do we know if I have to harvest for the vote, or can I just do it without doing that?
No, I don't think you have to harvest. I think the way that it's made is it looks at the funds that you have in your wallet, and then also the funds that you have on their custodial platform, I guess. Now, if you have them locked in, say, a smart contract like in MinSwap, then obviously those wouldn't get counted because they are locked in a smart contract somewhere. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited to vote for it. First DeFi vote for me.
Me too, actually. I don't think I vote in any other DeFi protocols.
Yeah, me too.
It's actually really good to see these things develop, and I like that they're getting towards voting. Even with some of the other things I might not potentially like, it is good to see them kind of push in that direction.
Yeah, I think it speaks to a work in progress, right? So, we'll see. Some things work out, some things fail. We just go with it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of innovation. Like, people are free to design different models, and some things work, some things don't. And that's the beauty of being able to index all these things. You get a little bit of everything, and kind of hopefully the portfolio works out.
So I just happened to be looking at my YouTube. Does anybody else here like watch Learn Cardano podcast with Pete? Shout out to Pete. If you don't watch his podcast, Learn Cardano on YouTube, go follow and subscribe. He posted a video called "Unlock the Value of NFT with NFT Collateralization DeFi Loans." Kind of interested in what the hell that is.
Hey, Hero, is that Astro Boy you're talking about, Pete?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah, after last year I stopped watching YouTubers, but maybe I should just start going and
there's
a little bit.
two in Select Pyro that I'll watch. There's probably like 4, right? Hashoshi, Pete. I do like J Crypto. He covers a lot of metaverse stuff though. Not quite my flavor, but if he covers other stuff, I usually watch his. And then what's the Let's Go guy? Damn it, I can't think of his
Army
name.
of Spies.
Yeah, him. So that's kind of like my YouTube people.
J Crypto.
I'm not on the list, so salty. I'm shutting down my YouTube.
I'm salty that you need to give me the name of it. Maybe I should start watching it.
Rand Corp, sir.
Like, let me go add that shit. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna go add it. I'm gonna give you a chance, man. Don't fuck it up.
Dude, I'm just a guy in my basement smoking a little cannabis. This is not financial advice. That's how I start every video.
You start off with a couple tokes off.
This is the way.
Or is it a bong load? Which one? Are you doing?
Sometimes I smoke a joint and make a video. Sometimes I pack a bong. It just depends on if I'm really pissed off at Axie Infinity or super happy about some other breed rent Ponzi we're making a video on.
So are you passing the Suchi to the left or to the right? That's all I want to know.
To the left, sir.
Oh,
Okay,
the left. I was going to say.
I'm there then. Okay, just want to make sure, just trying to vet you just a little bit.
You know what got me interested in this whole thing already is the fact that he just said, "I'm just a guy in a basement."
Hey,
all right. Just like
I'm just the guy in a mental basement right now.
Listen, Mike.
Dark.
Well,
darkness, bro.
I hope that you get those issues worked out, and if there's anything I can do to help you, reach out to me.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, we're here for you, bro. Whatever the case. Hey, so switching subject, if that's okay.
No, let's get darker.
What about this catalyst stuff?
I'm not going to talk about it without somebody being here that's going
Oh,
to
he's not
answer
here.
the question.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to
Wait,
speculate.
who said Catalyst?
Oh, there he is.
I love you.
Until he comes
Lido.
back, we can't
Oh
talk
my
about it.
God.
So
Yeah.
No,
In
that makes
fact,
absolute sense. No worries.
hey, if anybody has checked out, so Neta BTC is going to be introducing. They have a Tosi Drop light paper, and they are going to be introducing their claim platform for Ergo/Cardano as the way they work, because they come from the Ergo side, and it is some really good reading. And I would suggest, part of Ergo Dex, right?
Testnet next week.
That's coming, man. They're really coming on hard here, and there's not a whole lot of fanfare. They just do it, right?
You see who their partner kind of is on Cardano? Do you know? Come on, Block.
Who? Oh, say it.
Oh, World Mobile Token.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Mm-hmm.
They announced that today. So
who was that? Ergodex?
Yeah.
Ergodex and Tosi Drop. Check out the Neta BTC. There's a Medium article surrounding it, and it's a light paper. It's nothing too detailed, but gives you a screenshot of the UI and everything else surrounding that, and the tokenomics surrounding it and what they're doing. So Frosty's a really good dude, if anybody hasn't met him yet.
Lido, I'm glad you're fiat mining. Can you give us the the Lido minute?
This is your Lido minute on Cardano Over Coffee. If you were here for the first 12 minutes of the show, you know a lot's happening in Catalyst right now. If you don't know what Catalyst is, I'm going to pin a tweet to the top. It is an experiment to manage Cardano's Innovation Fund. Cash is given out every 3 months. And there are 8 different ways to participate and help Catalyst achieve its goal. And those 8 ways, there are 8 compensated ways. There are other ways that are not compensated, but if you would like to get paid for your participation, there's a place for you. See article at the top. If you had proposals in the last fund, unfortunately, you've missed your window to protest any of the community advisors' reviews that were posted to your proposal. So the next stage now is that all of those reviews is going to go to a second layer of QA, and that's being a veteran community advisor. If you've successfully participated as a community advisor, you are qualified to be a veteran community advisor. Look out for in your inboxes or your junk folder. And the veteran community advisors just make sure that the advisors are following the rules and not being sketchy. And then those votes will go into the app. If you are an ADA holder, you have until April 7th to get all your ADA in one wallet and register that wallet to vote. On April 7th, there will be a snapshot, and that will determine your voting power. So after April 7th, you can ape back into DeFi and all that jazz. That's what's happening in Catalyst. My name is Darlington, your favorite co-dreamer at Lido Nation. LidoNation.com provides hype-free education in plain English, Swahili, and Spanish in written and audio formats. We are looking for an investigative journalist to join the team. English or Spanish can be your primary language. Hit me up in the DM. If there's anybody who wants a 30-minute consultation with Lido about anything, rubber ducking, Catalyst proposals, you want to watch me eat breakfast, hit my DM. I will send you a calendar for you to book a 30-minute session.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it's you or me, but I heard absolutely none of that.
I was literally going to say the same thing, Hero. Is it doing that thing where speakers can't hear other speakers? Hopefully everybody else can hear us.
So I hope the audience heard it, but sorry, speakers. I think I may be slightly rugged.
If you're in the audience, could you hear what the hell Lido just said for the last minute and a half? Give me like some kind of emoji, like just spam some emojis if you actually could hear him, because I could not. Now we wait for the delay. Linda says she can hear him. Rob, I see emojis, so they can hear you. That's good.
That delay is also so confusing, right? it's getting longer, I feel like.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, nobody can hear it. Oh wait, there they are.
Yeah, I always forget about the delay.
Yeah, it's quite annoying sometimes, because I'll be like asking questions as people are coming up, and then I'm like 10 minutes ahead of myself when they get to the actual stage because of the stupid delay.
Yeah, I tried doing an auction with Chatter and with Chad, if you know, and I forgot that there was a delay. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. But
Linda, go ahead. Listen, Linda.
I just quickly want to go back to what you just mentioned about Pete's video. So the project is basically called Fluid Token, and it's a lending platform where you lock your NFT into a smart contract and take a loan against the value of it. So, which is pretty interesting. I like the project, but yeah, we just have to see how everything's going to develop.
Is that like a newer project, Linda? Do you know?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I couldn't understand you.
Is that a newer project?
Yep, it is.
Okay, I'm going to watch that video here right after the show, probably.
Yeah, that stuff's exciting. I would like to be a lender and know how like the liquidation process works. Like, I'll give somebody a 20% loan on their space, bud.
Yeah, right.
It's basically peer-to-peer, which so basically the borrower sets the condition of the loan, like he just sets the amount that he asks for and the interest rate as well.
That's
interesting. I wonder if the asset then, like the NFT, has to get deposited in a smart contract, and there has to be like a liquidation point that if the value drops, that lender is able to get their value, collect the asset.
Yeah,
interesting. I definitely research that I would look into, but you're right. There would have to be some kind of mechanism like that, right, TCT?
Yep. Nope. I was just gonna say that's what I've been looking for. Yeah, where because you need that incentive for lenders, right? Because like Rand said, I mean, I'm happy to loan out some ADA for a space bud, but if that doesn't get repaid, I want that space bud.
Exactly. I'm with it. I'd lend my 8 out for a space bud, maybe even a claymate.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe even one of them their Cardano bits too that TCT has. Why are they so undervalued? I don't get that. I don't know, but whatever. I only own one, so I'm not like trying to pump a bag or anything. I gave like 10 of them away, so I could care less if they ever become valuable, because then I'll feel bad.
I'm a fan.
I think you have one of everything. Hero.
No. I don't have one of everything. I had 2 of everything. Get it right. Jesus.
That's right.
Hero's got what they say, one to rock and one to stock.
That's not true. I'm the only space bud I own is the one that I have as a PFP. I totally missed that boat.
So he rocks with his NFT out? Nice. I like it. That works.
Rocket whip my NFT out. Lido, I got a question to end the show that you must answer.
Lido, can you hear me?
Oh my God, there he is finally.
He made it.
I've been here for a while.
I can hear you. I don't know if any of you guys can hear me though, but I can hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear Hero. I've been listening to all of y'all from the time the lady was speaking about the rare moon stuff. The connection is really bad. That's why I'm dropping off and coming back. But now it seems to have stabilized. So
Well,
if you guys can hear me, I can share my story.
We can hear you. We are at the end of the show, though. Hero, what were you about to say?
It's up to you. I mean, I don't know so much about hearing his whole entire story, but I'm sure there's a lot of people here that got some questions that they might want to ask you, right?
Yeah, I would love to stay. I'll drop down a listener. I'm sure it would be something that interests everybody, though. Thank you, guys. Like always, I'm super happy to be here. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's up to you, Lido. Like, I
See you,
don't know if
man.
you have to go or what you got to do because you're going to be the one that facilitates this. Because
Well, I can stay for a few more minutes because then I have to go to my desk where there's other people because my battery is dying. And there was a person who asked a question earlier before we got cut off. And so if you're on speaker and you can't really hear me, I don't know what to tell you. I can't really leave the room and come back. The listeners can hear me, so
Turn on captions. That'd be the best way.
Oh, thanks. Yes, turn on caption, and I will try to enunciate, which is not something I always do. Well, I should say. So, Dimitri, I don't think I want us to rehash the story because we don't have a lot of time left today. I would like to do my best to sort of pick up from where we left off. And I know we've gotten some new people in the room, and I don't know what to tell you there on how to get caught up. The story is at the beginning of the show. The story is also on the last Epoch's end, which was yesterday. That was recorded. Go ahead, Blockjack. Do you have an idea?
Yeah, so I just want to kind of reiterate what Fuffy was saying. So, Dimitri, I just want you to respond to the subject surrounding how many proposals you have out, how you've kind of almost spammed the network. And I know it's okay to do it, but should you've done it, right? And you kind of gamified it a little bit. And I get all that. I get Quasar's ideas surrounding it because you can do it and you get an edge.
No,
You
I
can
disagree.
gamify it, you can.
No,
But yeah, let's hear that.
I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. I disagree with that. I'll tell you why. First of all, I didn't. I mean, you may perceive that I spammed the network, but that's not an intention. Grow India was one challenge, and we are a translation firm. So we are. Can you all hear me? First of all, I want to check that. So we are a translation company. So we are capable of doing the projects. Right. So we are capable of doing the projects. Last time we wanted to do it under multilingual resources, but this time there was no category called multilingual resources. We didn't intend, I mean, it's a perception that we spam the network that's being spread around, but that's not our intention. We simply submitted a series of language projects, very small projects, $7,000 each. I was advised to break up the proposals rather than putting one massive proposal for all the languages, to break it up so that since we are a first-time proposer, that people won't think we are trying to grab a lot of money by going in for a massive multi-language proposal. That's number one. So we broke the languages up to separate them. The second reason we broke them up to separate them was because as much as there is a perception that only certain, like the state language of Hindi and English, are important, but we feel and felt that the other regional languages are equally important to onboard millions, and now it's 1.7 billion people. That's about 6 times the population of the US in terms of population, people who would potentially have access to information about Cardano through the very basic videos that we would be taking from IOHK and putting a very foundational set of videos to onboard these multiple languages. That was our intention. We did not try to spam, or we did not think we are trying to spam. We are not interested in being perceived as spammers, but we looked at how proposals were being done previously. We did not see any problems with a company or a group putting multiple proposals, because I had seen it in 2 rounds before, and nobody seemed to have any issues about it. So that is why we put multiple proposals. So perception and intention are, of course,
okay. So, but
seeming to
you
be
can
far apart.
see though why people would think that way about it, right?
Let me jump in here. So there's never been a time in the history of Cardano where a group put in a catalyst, I should say, put in multiple proposals that total like close to 1 million or more, right? Like that hasn't happened in the same fund, right? Typically, so that is unprecedented. And I wish Fluffy were here to cite the specific references of early on before Catalyst advising, before the advising started. It sounded like there were feedback from the community, but you chose to ignore the feedback. Can you speak towards that?
Let me clarify. Yes. The feedback from the community was not about regarding the quantity of proposals. The feedback from the community was saying certain languages are not important because those population numbers are small in the context of the overall Indian population. So, for example, Hindi has 528 million people. Marathi has 83 million people. So people were saying, don't bother with Marathi, bother with Hindi, because Marathi is not that important with 83 million people. Our reply, and it's not that we ignored the feedback, they were looking at it from a developer's perspective. They are developers who went from proposal to proposal of mine, posting the same message, so that would be spam, saying the same thing. These languages are not important, only Hindi and English are important because everybody knows Hindi and English. But the other perspective that I got from other people was these languages are important because the populations in those particular areas are not necessarily going to want to learn about these things in Hindi, because speaking Hindi is like a second language to them. And they may not know English at all. So the people who were putting the messages on my proposals prior to the CA work were people who were developers and English speaking and techies. So the 3 things they were saying was, don't bother with local and regional languages, bother with Hindi. Number 2, they were saying everybody knows English. Both of those are not true. And number 3, saying you need.
Go ahead, Pyro.
And we said we are not looking at developers. We are looking at newbies, people who don't know anything.
So yeah, I mean, I just want to play. It's not. I wouldn't call this devil's advocate, but I do want to agree with Dimitri for dividing, into different proposals. Because what really needs to happen is categorization of what you're asking for, and. For a minority language to be, to be covered, and that's just one aspect of it. I didn't read all your proposals. I would like to, if you wanted to set it up. But as far as what people say in the idea scale, Like it's pretty generic. If you're not talking directly to Dimitri and then, trying to kind of like figure out what his idea is, you have the full right to say whatever you think. And what you think might be correct isn't necessarily the best thing for the project. These are all individuals that don't have a don't have a tie to Dimitri or his project. These are people who are assessing and reading, and maybe focusing on Hindi rather than, some other minority languages might be important. But for the people who speak Hindi, they can very well write their own proposals.
Go ahead, Blackjack.
So I would say, Dimitri, two things. One is that obviously your response to some of the assessments probably didn't go well as to how you responded to what they were saying, and then and how you put that out into Catalyst as a whole. And the other side of that is that because you had so many of them, instead of putting them out over a period of time, different funds, instead of trying to do it all at once, you've now created yourself a bit of a storm here. I get what you're trying to do, and yes, the numbers proof out that what you're doing and why they're important is important, but it's probably how you handled the responses surrounding it. That's all.
No. Hindsight is 2020, as they say. So, since my perception was that putting a quantity was okay, and my perception was that putting several minority languages was okay, so probably the next time around, whatever does not get funded in this time, we'll say.
I didn't do that. Ira, did you do that?
Yeah, it was me. I'm sorry, Dimitri. That was me. I apologize. I'm trying to read captions, and I was trying to read what he said, and I screwed up and bumped the button. I apologize.
Yeah, so it's okay. So what I was saying is hindsight is 2020. So my perception was that putting any number of proposals is okay because that's what I'd seen. My perception was putting the minority languages was okay, and I have put Hindi for the record. And I felt that Hindi and these other things were okay. So that's also what I've seen. So let's assume that of the 19, we'll say 8 get funded or 10 get funded. The other 9, I probably wouldn't put them all in one go because I certainly don't want to hear this sort of stuff the next time around. So I would spread it out, like you said, maybe 3 at a time and take it step by step. So if 9 get funded this time, the next time I can build on those 9 and bring in another 3, we'll say. Or if 5 get funded this time, I'll put in another 5 next time and build on the current 5. So of course, my aim is to get these projects off the ground, which is why I put such a low value for each of these projects, which was $7,000 comparatively to typical language projects that are there in the same challenge, which are $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 each. So I would definitely agree with you on that point. I would agree with you that we will spread it out over more time so that people don't get worked up about it.
So Lido, is the vote just solely for those Catalyst members that are running the show? Is that how that's going to work?
I'm not even sure if it's a vote or like how that will work, right? Because
No,
I've been
nobody knows.
Dimitri
No,
can
yeah.
elaborate on that. Is it a vote? What's happening on Wednesday?
Okay, let me say what I know. This is all I know. Okay, I will say what I know. This is not an official position because honestly, I don't know. All I know is that on Wednesday, I was asked to step down voluntarily before action was taken to remove me. I said, no, I am not going to step down because I have not done anything to deserve to be kicked out. So then I was told, these are some of the things that you have done. Number 1, you have put in that proposal for Circle Rep retroactive pay. I said, I put that proposal because I went to the community and they felt that this was a justified proposal. The second thing was, I have spammed the Grow India challenge with 15 proposals. I said, you may use the word spam, but I have not spammed it because there are about 40 odd projects. Several of them are much larger projects than mine, also dealing with language. So they have a chance to get much more money to do language, whereas I have asked only for $7,000 a piece. So if one of them gets funded, we will work on that one. If 5 of them get funded, we'll work on the 5. So I was then told that 3 community initiatives have got together to bring up the charges against me. And these 3 community initiatives will be getting together to vote on Wednesday. So then I said, why are you rushing this vote? If there is going to be a vote, like you all took about a month and a half last time to tell people about this election, why not then take that same amount of time and let the ADA holder community know? Not just the Catalyst community, but the greater community. Everybody who knew the first time around to come. Why this big rush? Then I asked, why is this being held in a private room? If this is an official position, hold it at the town hall. Then I was told, we can't hold it at the town hall because town hall is IOG. We have to hold it in a breakout room. Then I said, what is the meaning of this? First of all, you're rushing this election. Second, you're not holding it in an official capacity. You're holding it a private capacity. Where is the validity of such an election? I know that elections are supposed to be given time for the voters to be aware and to make up their minds on whatever the issues are. And then even to know about the election, nobody seems to know, other than for some way you guys know about it. But when I spoke to the people between Wednesday and today is Monday, nobody knows about the election.
So
I'm
gonna jump in there, Dimitri, just to kind of speed this along, and my time is quite short too. So outside of, I know there's been chatter in Telegram and partially in Discord, but mostly Telegram, and as far as back and forth goes, and and I don't know if this is a feature or a bug, but much of Catalyst does happen in Telegram channels and sometimes Discord. Very little happens on YouTube. And then there's also the Wednesday event. So feature or bug, if you have an opinion, show up to one of these places and make noise. So I think people who are not in those channels will have zero knowledge about what's happening, right? I mean, when we had the vote for the Catalyst Circle, around 100 people show up, right? Which is, with that number dwarfs the number of people in Cardano, right? So that's an ongoing feature or bug, and so it seems like that needs to be addressed one way or another. The thing I did want to say about going back to the proposals, because part of having this conversation too is here on Cardano Over Coffee, we talk about Catalyst a lot, and so we want people to be able to learn from these discussions. Because I don't think anything we say in this room is going to affect what's happening on Zoom unless you all show up and say something about it. And also, we're only getting your side of the story, right? We're not really getting any of those people who's brought up these charges against you. I heard 3 communities. We're not getting anybody from those circles to share their side of the story. So maybe that will happen on Wednesday. So I think what we can do is really keep the conversation around what I guess maybe the biggest thing or the biggest outlying thing that's happened is just these number of proposals and that's come through. And the one thing that I haven't really heard you say, and that some community advisors that did reach out to me to ask me about some of your proposals, I didn't give them a straight answer and kept it diplomatic and left it to them to make their own decision. But one of the things that they asked me was just going from one proposal to another before realizing that you are a team, right? So where can we go on the internet to see your team, to see your company, your accomplishments? because Swarm, Lido Nation, DC Spark, WADA, we all have websites and we all have our proposals there, and that says we have this many proposals. This is our team. These are our expertise. Do you have something like that we can go to and like learn about your company?
We've mentioned the project management team in each and every proposal that is there already.
Is
We've
there a
also
link to
mentioned
that we can see the information?
well, it's on idea. It's every single proposal is on the idea scale under
No,
Fund
to
8.
the project management team, because I'm looking at a few proposals and I don't see a link to that team.
The project that each and every person who is there, we've linked their FB or their LinkedIn profiles. So we manage the projects. We manage the translation projects.
Who's we?
We, myself, Rishanta Valikadage,
Is that a
Muttaya
company or is that
Dureswamy.
just a group of people? Is that like a formed company or what is that we
It's
structure?
we is me. We is my company. My company is Jedidiah Interactive, and Jedidiah Interactive does
Do you have a
translation
website?
projects. No, we don't have a website.
Okay. Because the few people that did reach out to me for questions, that was one of their main concern of who is the company and so when I put my first proposal in, right, I had less proposal and less budget to kind of like prove who I was, where I'm coming from, and things of that nature. And I guess that's the one question that I still have about
exactly
the company and who they are and all of that stuff. So I don't know if there's anything to learn from you or anybody in the room, and just the importance there of communicating
what we are
who you are.
what we are going to do. Yeah, what we are going to do in any case, Lido, is we are going to create on our own funding. We are going to create a couple of videos or a couple of documents that we will be translating at our own cost without funding, to show that we have the capability of doing multiple languages if and when the community decides to fund them. So we will be putting out some basic documentation, some basic information for a new person to understand about Cardano. What is blockchain? What is crypto? What is Cardano? So that a person who has no knowledge, not a developer, not a techie, but somebody with zero knowledge. Of course, we will be putting those on YouTube, but we cannot expect to do social media and show some sort of a audience because that involves money. But we will create those videos or the documents, translated documents, at our cost. And we will put it out so that you all can see at the very least that we have the translation capability of doing this particular work. So we plan on doing that for a few languages at a time. If the community thereafter decides then they want to support a funding of those or more languages or whatever, then well and good. But we are capable, and I will finance it myself to show in a few languages, a few videos or a few documents to be done. We've been doing projects for many years. This is the first time that I thought of doing it for Catalyst, or not for Catalyst, for Cardano, or for blockchain or crypto, because I got involved in it only about a year ago. So as such, my interest has grown, which is why I participate in almost every town hall and almost every meetup group that is involved in the community. The only one I can say I don't participate in is the women's group. But otherwise, the climate and environment group, the creative group, all the town halls, I'm usually there. You can ask anyone you know from those town halls. They will vouch for that.
Let's go.
On that basis,
let me interject here super quickly just to keep moving this along again. I think I have maybe 5 to 10 minutes left. Let's go to Karma, and if anybody else has last minute questions, come up. I'm gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes. So Karma, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So Dimitri, I definitely have heard you a couple times, and I have empathy for you. I would ask this, and maybe it's a question for Lido. It seems to me there's an easy solution here, or at least one potential easy solution. Why not start with Hindi and get the $7,000, try to get approval for your one proposal, around Hindi, get that working. Did I hear you right at $7,000? I mean, this is not a ton of money that you're asking for. And get that one done as sort of a proof of your value to the community, right? Get that one done. You can show off your skills. We can all appreciate it. IOG can appreciate, everybody can appreciate what you've done then, and then come back and ask for the, 16 other things that you envision doing. I think it was sort of maybe this flood, as Lido alluded to, that maybe threw some people off. Like, I'm not going to use the word spam. I'm going to say flood of a lot all at once. And I think developers in particular, worry that somebody is trying to boil the ocean. That's the term we kind of use in development teams, right? Let's not boil the ocean. Let's do one thing really well, and then let's run a little faster next time and do more, and then do more, and then do more. And pretty soon you become, someday Microsoft or whatever, or, Red Hat. But you have to start small. You have to start kind of maybe a little more small. Is that fair, or am I being ridiculous?
Well, it's like this. Now, had I known this beforehand, I would have probably put maybe 4, 5 at the most. But what I'm saying now is it's gone to the stage of voting, which is the next stage, I guess. And the voters will decide which languages they want to support. Now, while some people are against all these proposals, some people like the fact that there are multiple proposals so that they can pick and choose what languages they want to support. Instead of, we'll say, a $50,000 for 5 languages or something like that. So, so there is that side. There is two parties are there. One likes the multiples, one doesn't like the multiples. So anyway, now it is what it is. The community advisors have basically slammed the proposals. Actually, no, I can't say that. I have just finished doing the flagging, and I will say for the record that while we had a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split, so there were 60% or 50% who were in favor, and about 50% who were not in favor. And the people who were not in favor basically went to each and every proposal and wrote their displeasure in their giving 2s and 3s. The people who were in favor showed their favor by putting 4s and 5s. So I cannot say every single community advisor is against this idea.
I'm gonna jump in again, and then we'll go to Hero and then Blue Collar. But before we do, just on the numbers, the delta that you need to get funded is at least 15%. More yeses than no. I think that's still the number. I'm not sure if it's going to change, but the number that I have is 15%. So if the CAs is representative of what the voters is going to do, then that's a serious risk to your agenda. Just from a numbers perspective. Hero, go ahead, and then Blue.
Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know where to start on this, right? Like, I don't see no problem with you putting 40 proposals in. That's my opinion, right? Now, am I going to vote yes on all 40 of those proposals? Well, that's my prerogative, right? So that's how I view it. But I'm not so involved, and blue collar.
Yeah, I agree. Every person should have the right to vote however they please. You can vote no to all 40, yes to all 40, or a mix. Perfectly fine. You are a member of the community. You have a right to express your preference.
Let's go to Blue Collar, and then I like to switch topic a little bit. Blue Collar, go ahead. Same topic, but just a different conclusion to the conversation.
My personal take on this, if I'm understanding this right, and I kind of feel like I am, is there's a group here really trying to be gatekeepers, and I feel like it's a problem with Catalyst overall, where We try to put it out there that it's like this decentralized for everybody thing, but then we want to kind of shun away and discredit some of the voters. I've heard everything from, well, they don't understand what this proposal is about, so they shouldn't be voting on it, to something like this. Let's hold a vote for something of this magnitude that could impact not only Dimitri but the Catalyst ecosystem as a whole in some way. And it's really feeling like a hidden kind of gatekeeping vote, and it really just kind of leaves another bad taste in my mouth towards Catalyst and the kind of whole environment that's been built around it. And I really feel like it's a system that was intended for good purposes, and it could be great, but I feel like it's really being strangled and misused by some people. And Dimitri wants to put up 40 proposals. If the community wants to approve 40 proposals and every person on that Catalyst board thinks none of them should be approved, guess what? Every person that holds a single Lovelace has just as much voting power with their Lovelace as anyone on that board, and they should have just as strong of a vote. And I don't think it's okay to pull things like he put too many proposals up and we don't like the proposals, so we need to take him off the board. If you want a rule change, put that up for a vote. Don't hold some secret behind door withholding information vote. I mean, Dimitri doesn't even know what's going on Wednesday, and that they're expecting a fair turnout on this with people having an educated opinion is laughable, and every person involved knows it.
Yeah,
Great
I
points
agree.
there. I'm just gonna jump in here, Dimitri, so I would like to get to this last question before we wrap up, and add some balancing comments to what was just said, right? So Catalyst has a shit ton of problems, and I'm serious because I rarely say shit or any curse words. So that's like I'm agreeing with you there. At the same time, about the comments about bad taste and gatekeeping, right? Like, it's going to be up to us to change it. So everybody who has strong feelings about this, I really hope you jump into the Catalyst process and change it, right? Because what's happening right now, we're building a foundation, but the cement is still wet, right? It's going to take everybody to shape and solidify that thing. I think what we're dealing with is hasn't been dealt with before. So we can expect the people who are picking up the shovel
Let me also
make
clarify.
a mature
Let me
to make a. I'm sorry. I just let me. I need to wrap this up. And then I need to ask a question. We can expect the people who has the shovel to like make wise, seasoned decisions, right? As best as they might. So I really do hope that all of these conversations that happen over epochs and that Dimitri is leading or championing or is the scapegoat for, right? That it leads to more participation in Catalyst. The question that I want to shift to, and as far as gatekeeping go, there is, whether is a bug or a feature, there is a desire for Catalyst to produce high quality proposals. Now, people can say that's not, that's moot, that's whatever, we shouldn't be going for that. But that is one agenda of Catalyst right now, that the proposals that come to the voters should be high quality. And the way Catalyst have attempted to produce this quality is through the CA and the VCA, right? With the numbers that Dimitri gave about the 60-40 or 50-50 split on CA reviews suggests that there is contention here, right? Between what idea of quality, what Dimitri set up proposals, how it meet Catalyst standard of quality. So I would like a quick roundtable on that piece of like, should we be going for quality, certain quality, standard of quality for proposals that goes to the voter app? And what would you, maybe make some comments on the current CA VCA role, or like what a layer of quality should look like? Roundtable, raise your hands. I will start with Dimitri, since you're the invited speaker, and then we'll go to session. Dimitri,
Sorry, I didn't
if you're
hear.
able to come off. Oh,
I didn't.
so if you're able to come off mute, did you get my question?
No, can you repeat the question?
So Catalyst has an agenda that proposals should meet a certain level of quality. Is that a good idea or not a good idea? If you think it's a good idea, what should that layer of
I think it's a bad.
check look like?
Okay, let me put it like this. Anytime anybody or a few people decide what is a good idea, things go sideways pretty quickly for the rest of the people. I don't need to go into history to talk about so many examples. So thinking somebody's definition of quality, or this is the right kind of person we want in our community, or this is the right level of IQ or whatever, somebody's definition causes havoc in that community or the country or whatever. This is commonplace throughout history because human nature cannot determine. That is why we have community with all sorts of people and all sorts of skill sets and IQs and preferences and everything. And nobody should say this is the quality we want to have. What we should be saying is give the power to the people. And this is how it is in the real world. Give the power to the people. Put all the proposals out there. The CA's job should only be to determine whether it meets the feasibility, auditability, and impact. They should not be putting their own opinions, agendas, groupthink, group influence, because then they are exercising like a political party their will when they have not been given that power. The only power they have been given is to assess, does it meet feasibility? Does it meet auditability? Does it meet impact? You can give your rating from 1 to 5. You can say why you think it does or doesn't. But beyond that, a CA and a VCA have no authority. In fact, they have no authority at all. They are only assessors. They have no right to determine what should and shouldn't be put in front of a voter. Absolutely
great.
No right.
Thanks for that feedback. Let's try to keep it brief and keep it on the subject of the fact that Catalyst has a desire that proposals should meet a certain level of quality, and right now that job is kind of left to the CA and the VCA as the quality filter. Let's go to the next hand session. Go ahead.
I think there's a simple fix here, man. And that is to limit the amount of proposals that one proposer can present. I don't think Dimitri acted available to submit 40 proposals. But what if another player does come along in the future? I mean, you could see how the vulnerability here, if everybody flooded proposals each, it would limit the ability of CAs and the VCAs to assess everything. It would flood the system. And I think we're too small for that. I think you just limited just one per person. I don't think anyone, 40 is up. But you're Dimitri.
There was some serious rugging there. I hope other people got it, or at least have the caption turned on. I didn't want to interrupt you because I do need to kind of make this a rapid round. So again, please stick to the question, and then please be brief. Raise your hand if you would like to respond. Go ahead, Pyro, and then Blue Collar.
Before you brought up this thing, you kind of mentioned what I was about to say. Whereas I feel honestly, I feel kind of bad that Dimitri is the kind of like the scapegoat for this particular event, but you know, my thing is, it's like, yes, it's at the current moment, it's not a bad, like, we're anyone could propose anything, and the quality could be at any point of level, like it doesn't matter really what it is, whether that's the right thing to do. Now that is what we're at debate here, and that is how we create the immune response to create a better catalyst. And so this moment in Catalyst is very fragile, and it's not the best. I go to almost every town hall that I try to, and I have I'm fly by night. I'm on my seat figuring out, okay, what exactly do I do, and what is my impact? And something like this case where I didn't even hear about, but I've seen Dimitri talk several, for a few weeks now, and I know very little about his proposals, and it's segmented. Catalyst is very segmented, so it is kind of like a government in a way. And so with this immune response, this is, and I feel bad for you, Dimitri, that you have to be this quote unquote catalyst for it. It's also necessary. And it sucks that it feels like a witch hunt, and it shouldn't be. But at least we can pick up, where this is and make it better. So someone like Dimitri doesn't get some he's not wrong for making his proposals. He's not in the wrong at all. He was given this right. He was probably told by someone that this was okay. It could have been anyone. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like if you have the means, there's a way. And so
jump in there, Pyro. Just to give other people a chance to speak. I think we got the crux of your comment. Thank you very much. Sorry, I do need to wrap this up, but I would like everybody to speak on this recorded space that I hope you all were able into and spread and people will learn from it. Go ahead, Blue Collar.
Yeah, my quick little 2-second take is I did the CA thing a couple times, and I would like to see you kind of give us category selection when you start, things that you're comfortable or understand and things you don't. I don't have any business voting on something to do with software engineering, but marketing, communication, something like that might be something more in my wheelhouse and more where proposals can lean heavier towards for my review. At the same time, I don't think Hero should say, oh no, he's got no business looking at software engineering proposals, don't let him see any. But just for me, it would have been very helpful as a community advisor to have more of the proposals that I was reading through, more focused on areas that I knew of, as opposed to, having to go through everything and sometimes kind of feeling like I should vote on something I don't really understand or feel like I'm skipping through too much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being succinct. Go ahead, Karma.
I'll be really brief. Dimitri, you are very much.
Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to scroll through stupid ass captions. Sorry, Karma.
No worries. I'll be real brief. Dimitri, hit me in the DMs. My DMs are open. I have an idea that might make some of this moot. I used to run my business out of Salem, Massachusetts, and if you know anything about Salem, we were the witch city. I think you are being scapegoated a little bit here, and I'm starting to get my feathers up around this. I want to help you out directly. Contact me in the DMs. I have an idea for you that will make a lot of this moot. I've heard enough. I'm not proud of my community right now, if I'm honest. And yes, I can say that after 4 years of owning Ada, in a very large way. I'm not proud of what has happened to you, and I think there's a lot of lessons here. Pyro is right. There's some lessons to be learned. We need to mature this process. In the meantime, I want to take care of you. Give me a shout, please.
Thanks, Carmen. Go ahead, Hashki, and then go to Fluffy.
Can we is it just me, or does this, I think that this whole coup, which is what I'm going to call it, by Catalyst, should actually result in the removal of those trying to pull this BS. Like Lido says, I don't like to cuss very often, but this is BS. Like, this is literally a coup against somebody they don't like, and likely they're trying to replace them with somebody else that they want or like, or has is going to give them less pushback.
Flat out a witch hunt. It's flat out
This
a
is
witch hunt.
ridiculous. How can we even tolerate this as a community? This is ridiculous. Like, and then this whole thing, let's do this behind closed doors, a non-recorded room. This is literally BS, and we need to hold these people accountable. There is no way we allow this as the community of Cardano. This is unacceptable behavior. Community functions. This is pure madness that we're seeing this in our community. Like Karma said, this is shameful. This is very, very shameful. Like, this behavior is childish.
This is how we welcome new people to the community. Unbelievable. I'm ashamed right now.
It is ridiculous, and these people need to be held accountable. If they have accusations, great, make them public. We want to know these accusations.
Jump in there. Thanks, Hashki. Ooh, my battery is really dying now. Okay. So I'm gonna, since that was very weighted, I'm gonna try to balance that skill, right? So the entire functioning for the catalyst circle is to sense problem. I've been screaming at you all. There is this thing called a catalyst circle that's gonna have lots of power. You should get involved. So I'm glad this is happening, right? That we should hold the members that fill those seats accountable, because this is the beginning of a governing body, and the power will grow and grow, right? So the circle is there to sense problem like this and like respond to it, right? That is the mandate they've been given. I'm not going to comment on abuse one way or another, but that is the mandate. Now, you can say there's incompetence in carrying out that mandate or not, depending on where you fall on this, but that is what we quote unquote, we, all 100 of us, elected them to do. So yes, do get involved and do what you can to hold the circle accountable one way or another. Go ahead, Fafi.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to respond actually directly to the question about quality, and just point out or help us think about the fact that quality control issue, it's less a matter of if and more a question of where do we draw that line. So for example, proposals that have blanks, if there are required fields that are blanks, or if one of the sections is blank, that's a quality control issue, and that proposal will get pulled, right? We don't want dozens or thousands of incomplete non-quality proposals getting to the voters, because it bogs it down. It's not a good look, right? That's part of the function of the CA process. So I think the question here, like, I'm not really obviously some things are going down that are not maybe, great, but for looking at these proposals, my question is there a quality issue that we can adjust? And it's not so much about anything about what, Dimitri personally, what I would like to hear from him is maybe some openness to how he could help solve this problem within what he's trying to do, right? So for me, it's similar to, like almost like leaving a field blank. If someone is submitting, many proposals amounting to, millions of dollars, 10% of the fund, and that's not evident in the proposal, I think that's a legitimate quality control issue. And it's not anything personal to Dimitri or a witch hunt. It's kind of like, it feels like a field was left blank, right? This field that help us understand what is the overall plan, how, is this feasible, right? Because a CA could be reading this proposal and thinking, oh, $7,000 to translate some stuff, super feasible, right? And what is missing is this context of all this other stuff, and then you might have legitimate questions about feasibility that perhaps Dimitri could answer,
right,
but that information was missing.
Yeah. Yeah, can I answer that?
Yes, and then I'm sorry, I see the hands, but I will shut it down after Dimitri answer. And Dimitri, if you can answer
Okay.
to that quality
The
question,
answer,
because
the answer to
that's where I wanted to end the conversation
okay.
on.
The
Go
short,
ahead.
right. The short answer to that would be, in every one of our proposals, which are all similar because the process is the same, just the language is different. The process is the same, so the proposal is similar, virtually identical. Every single one of them has stated that we have our in-house project team and we have master translators for each language. It's called a language pair. So English to Hindi or English to Tamil or whatever. So we have the master translators. We have two translators. We have two proofreaders. And what the translators do will be double checked by the proofreaders, and neither of them will ever contact each other on this project. Therefore, we will get a quality check as to what the translators have done by the proofreaders. That is the way we have run and how translation firms run. This was made clear both in the proposal and over again in the CA channel. But particularly,
I think you could do the work that you're trying to do and get a better response if you would be willing to
I think
present
he
it
got
a little
rugged.
differently. Yeah.
Get rugged.
Bummer.
Bummer indeed, but a magic
hold on, Lida.
carpet is
Before
here to
Lida,
end the conversation.
before you cut it off, I want to say something. It's very important that you're involved in Cardano, and this is the reason why, right? Whether you think this is a witch hunt or you think this is a legitimate reason to remove somebody from the Catalyst Circle, this is why you need to be involved. Every single person here has an opinion on this situation, whether it's Dimitri or Hosky or Lido or me. Your opinion only matters if you go and you vote, such as this Catalyst Circle. 100 fucking people. Really, I'm upset by that number. 100 fucking people? Like, come on. We can do so much better as a community.
On that note, let's try this magic carpet or rug or whatever you call it. I forgot what the translation for rug was in Spanish. It was quite comical. When I did what's the direct translation into English? Like without what's the literal English translation of that?
What, rug?
Yeah.
Rug.
Okay.
Carpet.
Well, there is an alternate translation that tries to communicate.
I thought he was going to like pull the rug as he was asking that question. That's how obvious I thought
that there is a different Spanish translation that tries to communicate the idea of falling or slipping or something along those lines.
Or like the rug pull bit?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
But anyways, it's good to see you guys here. I hope this conversation inspire more participation, especially in Catalyst, and all the stuff around governance. Because 4 or 5 years from now, these cemented structure will be solid, and they will have whatever the thing that oxygen does to cement. Would have happened, and it would be much harder to make changes to the system, right? So thanks for being here. Thanks all the speakers. Thanks Dimitri for sharing your part. Thanks everybody else that contributed to the conversation.